So I do want to start with just a few housekeeping things. And so as you may have noticed, I am sitting on like a little stool. For this practice, I'm going to recommend that you have like a chair or a stool, or even if like you're near your couch and can put your legs up on your couch eventually, we're going to want to have a little bit of elevation for some of the movements that we're doing, bringing the floor a little higher. And so I also want to just make sure that we aren't doing like a formal release of liability. So as you entered into the Zoom meeting, you did agree to have the meeting recorded. We're also going to take that as an understanding that you release all liability from this practice, that you do everything that is in accordance with your safety, your health first and foremost. And so on that same idea, I do want to talk a little bit about some of the philosophical precepts of yoga. And I won't lecture a ton, I promise, but this will pertain to the practice. And so one of the first things that we talk about when we talk about our yoga journey is the yamas and niyamas, which are our behaviors toward ourselves and our behavior out into the world. And now one of those very crucial ethical precepts is this idea of ahimsa. And we may know that as people with PMDD, we tend to be very kind of violent toward ourselves. And sometimes that sort of violence, whether it may be emotional violence, verbal violence, sometimes even physical, we are kind of acting in a way that is not in accordance with how we want to feel and how we want others to feel around us. And so our yoga practice is a really beautiful place to start exploring those edges and finding where we can behave non-violently. And so that includes releasing judgment and expectation about how we think our body is supposed to or should perform. Because really, our body is different every day, and we have to bring a certain amount of acceptance into the practice as we learn where we are in the moment. And so I want you to keep this idea of ahimsa, of non-violence, as you move throughout this practice, so that you're not necessarily judging yourself on performance. You don't really have expectations of what you should feel, how you should be, and that you are approaching this practice with another philosophical concept called sthira and sukham. And so this is the idea that all yoga postures should be approached with steadiness and ease. So we want to find stability in the posture across the different layers of our being. So that includes our physical body, our breath, our energetic body. That also includes our mind, because we know that oftentimes with PMDD, we have a scattered brain. We are kind of foggy and out there and maybe experiencing sort of some derealization, not really feeling embodied or present in the moment. And so as we move through this practice, it'll be very gentle, because remember, this is a functional therapeutic class. And so it's not necessarily traditional yoga. We're not going to do a ton of chaturangas. In fact, we will do no chaturangas. And so explore that with the idea of non-judgment, of non-violence, as well as honoring where you are and finding steadiness and ease throughout all of the postures. And so I hope that's not too much of an intro. I hope that you're still with me and on board for this practice. We are going to start standing today, and since I got some more information from Caitlin prior to the beginning of our class, I am going to improvise just a little bit with some of the things that I originally had planned. And so go ahead and first come up to standing. You can move your prop towards the short end of your mat for now, or if you are using like a couch or a coffee table, just stand a little ways away from it. We're going to just start in a nice, steady, comfortable standing position. So if you look down at your feet, ideally your ankles should line up under your knees. Knees should line up under your hips. Hips should line up underneath your shoulders. And so I'm going to encourage you to start by just kind of wiggling your feet into the earth, rocking back and forth a little bit, testing out your balance some, maybe even going a little side to side, becoming very aware of your feet rooted into the floor below you. Spreading out your toes, pressing into the ball of your foot, rocking into your heel some. And then as you feel ready, think about planting your feet steadily and stably down into the floor below you. And now from this anchor point, let's start to lift slightly upward, feeling the quadriceps lift slightly as the kneecaps draw upward. Feeling the front of your body elongate slightly as you stand at your highest height. And thinking about drawing the crown of your head even just a little bit more gently towards the ceiling. So again, all of this in a balance of effort and ease. Releasing your arms down beside you, I invite you to close your eyes here if that would feel comfortable for you, or allow your gaze to simply soften on a point along the horizon. As we allow our body and mind to settle into stillness and quiet for a moment, become aware of yourself breathing. It's not necessary that you breathe in any particular way at this moment. Simply explore how your breath is moving naturally. Notice if you can find a little more relaxation around your eyes, releasing your tongue from the roof of your mouth if you find that it is pressed there. And as it feels appropriate for you, maybe you begin to add a little bit more length to your breath, exploring making the breath a little slower and maybe a little bit deeper. Let's take 3 more slow, conscious rounds of breath. As you complete your rounds, go ahead and allow your eyes to open if they were closed. And now we're going to bring our feet together just a little bit closer here. It's not necessary that the big toes touch, but if you would like to kind of challenge your balance slightly, coming more to a traditional mountain pose, our Tadasana, we're going to move through a series of breathing and elongating through the spine, but hearing that we have maybe some neck stuff going on today, we're going to take this in what is called a krama. So we're going to step slowly to lifting higher and higher. And so with our first inhale, we're going to rise onto the toes and lift the arms out just a little lower than shoulder level. And then exhale and slowly let the heels return to the floor as the arms return back beside the hips. Inhale again, rising slightly onto the toes, arms lift just a little lower than shoulder height. And then we exhale and slowly come back down, moving with our breath for each round. Last round at this step, let's inhale, slowly come up just a little bit, and then exhale and we'll come down once again. So moving consciously with your breathing, we're now going to lift a little bit higher, so maybe right at shoulder height. Inhale, slowly coming up, arms can reach a little higher. Exhale, heels return to the floor, arms come back down. Maybe your inhalation is matching the length of your exhalation. Inhaling to come up again, a little higher. Exhale and slowly lowering. Last round at this step. Inhale, a little higher. Exhale and slowly lower. And now for this third and final round, or this last step, we can take the arms up as high as we feel comfortable with, and so just honoring where your body may be today. Inhale, lifting onto the balls of the feet, arms reach up. Movement matches breath. Exhale, slowly come down, arms release. Let's do the last 2. Now, as you complete your rounds, we're going to turn to face toward our elevated prop. So again, this can be a coffee table, it can be your couch, anything that will bring the floor up a little ways away from you. And so if you are using blocks, that also would work super well. Just put them on tower height. So that's the highest height of your block. It would look like that. And so we're going to start standing a little ways away from our prop, and then we're going to start our left foot forward. Turn your right toes out a slight bit, turning them towards the long edge of the mat. And now we want equal weight across both feet, and we're going to start with some gentle forward folding. Inhale and lift both arms up from the front. Shoulders stay soft and only lift as high as feels comfortable. And we'll exhale, folding straight down over our left leg. Hands can come to the prop, releasing the back of your neck. Inhale, we're going to come straight back up. Keep the back of your neck long, reaching with the arms. Exhale and slowly release your hands back down. We're going to do 6 rounds total, so we have 5 more. Inhale, arms lift from the front, palms face downward. Exhale, slowly fold forward over your left leg. Release your head, shoulders are soft. Inhale, reach up. Maybe your ears stay alignment with your arms. Exhale, slowly lowering back down. All of our movements are mindful and matched with our breath. Let's continue. Inhale, arms reach up from the front. Exhale, slowly folding forward over that left leg, shoulders and neck release. Inhale, come up, keep your weight across your feet. Your knee can soften a little. Exhale, take it down. Go ahead and move through the last 3 rounds at the pace of your breath, moving mindfully. Last round. As you finish, go ahead and you can bend your front knee, step your back foot forward towards your front leg, and then walking again to the back of your mat, we'll switch sides, coming to our right leg now. Left toes can turn out a little towards the long edge of your mat. And again, equal weight across both feet. Our hips are turned slightly towards that front leg. Same thing as we just did, we have 6 rounds here. And so again, we'll inhale, reaching the arms up, shoulders stay soft, palms face forward. Exhale, folding down over your right leg. You can soften the knee a little, especially if it feels tight on these first few rounds. Inhale, leading with your arms, lifting slowly. Exhale, hands return back beside your hips. Inhale, slowly reaching up. Shoulders stay soft, neck stays relaxed. Exhale, slowly folding forward, breathing into the back of your leg. Inhale, slowly rising up. Exhale, releasing down. Turning your focus inward, let's repeat 4 rounds on our own. Last round. When you feel complete, we're going to bend our front knee, step our back leg towards the front, and now we'll stand just a little distance away from our prop, taking the feet a little wider than hip width distance apart. We'll now take just a traditional forward fold, folding with both legs in alignment together. Inhaling, lifting from the front once more, palms face down, shoulders stay soft. Exhale, slowly leaning into it. You can soften your knees, release your head. Inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, slowly release down. Keeping the mind focused, try to make your movements last for around 5 rounds of breath. 5 counts of breath. Inhale, slowly lifting the arms. Exhale, folding forward, knees can soften, head can hang, shoulders relax. Inhale, slowly rising up, being as gentle as you can, finding that balance between effort and ease. If you notice your mind has wandered away, come back to your breathing. Last round. Awesome. So as you complete your full forward folds, you can move your prop out of the way if it is a mobile prop, or you can simply kind of scooch away. We're going to come down onto our backs now, extending out through your legs. Feel free to use a blanket or a pillow to support your head. We're going to tuck our shoulders underneath our heart here. And if it feels more comfortable, feel free to bend your knees to take a little of the arch out of the small of your back. Taking just a moment to rest and integrate the work that we've done so far. Releasing any control over your breath, allowing your body to breathe for you. Deepening your breath once more. Let's go ahead and slowly, taking your time, bend your knees if they're straight. And we're going to pull both knees in towards our chest, taking our hands just softly to the outside of our legs. Our hands are just guiding here. We really don't need to use a ton of effort. With our inhalation, we'll allow our knees to move away from our belly. And then as we exhale, we're going to gently draw our legs in, pressing air out. We'll move through 5 more rounds, inhaling to allow the knees to move away. Exhaling to gently pull the knees back in. Again, seeing if you can make your breath last around 5 counts. One last round. Releasing your feet down to the floor here. Check that you have enough room to extend your arms back behind you. So if you're going to be running into anything, I recommend kind of scooching forward some here. Oh, that's still not going to work for me. We're also going to need enough room to be able to take our knees open wide. And so to start with, tuck your shoulders slightly underneath your heart, lengthening through the back of your neck. And then we're going to take our big toes to touch, bringing our knees together here. And then as we inhale, we're going to let just the left knee open out towards the long edge of the mat. And then with our exhale, we'll slowly draw the knee back in. And so just like we would in a cat-cow movement, we're going to just inhale and let the knee gently open out. And exhale and gently pull the knee back in, matching movement and breath together. We're going to do 6 rounds total because that's our magic number. And so taking your time, let's do 4 more. Inhale, knee slowly opens outward. Exhale, knee slowly draws in. Taking your time, moving mindfully. Seeing if you can reach the end of your inhale as your knee is fully open and the end of your exhale as the knee comes fully closed. Finish one final round wherever you are. And then we'll switch right to our right leg, inhaling to let the knee drop outward. Exhaling to slowly draw it in for 6 rounds on this side. As you complete, bringing both knees back to center and together, we'll now take our hands and we'll bring our index finger to touch our thumb. And now as we move through these next few rounds, as we inhale, we'll take our arms back behind us as the legs open. And as we exhale, we'll close the legs as the arms come down, and we'll switch our finger, moving the thumb then to the middle finger. So we're gonna go all the way down our 4 fingers, and then we'll do one more round, all down 4 fingers. So it'll be 8 of these total. And now feel free to leave the arm motion out of it if your neck or shoulders are bothering you in any way. And so we'll inhale, both knees open, both arms extend back up overhead. Again, think about your back of your hands hitting as your knees come to their fullest openness. Exhale and slowly take the arms down as the knees come back together. Switch to the middle finger. Inhale, slowly open. Exhale, slowly close. Switch now to the ring finger. Inhale, slowly open. Exhale, slowly close. To your pinky. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to your index finger and work through the last 4 rounds at the pace of your breathing. Eyes can be closed. Switching your fingers as you begin each new inhale. As you finish, you can slowly pull your knees back into your chest. We'll bring our hands once again to the outsides of our legs, and this time we're just going to move through 3 rounds of our Apanasana, inhaling to allow the knees to move away from the chest, and then exhaling to pull both knees back in. 2 more rounds. Lowering your feet to the floor. We'll take our time moving here. As you feel ready, you can slowly roll to the side of your choice, pressing into your top hand to sit up. We're going to grab our prop now. I recommend a blanket or pillow for your neck, and we'll have whatever elevated tool we're using to take our calves on top of it. And so kind of scooching forward toward it a little bit, bringing your legs on top, and then you can lower down first to your forearms and then slowly lower so that you are supported on your back body. Your head can be supported on a pillow, as I said, not too high. We don't want to have a big kind of crick in our neck, just letting our natural cervical spine curve be supported here. And so letting your arms relax open beside you, we'll start with our palms down beside our hips here. We'll take just a few slow, deep breaths, letting ourselves settle into the position. Now we've been working on making the length of our breath last about 5 seconds. And so we're going to continue with that and see if we can maybe coax a little bit more depth out of the breath. And so for the next 3 rounds of breath, see if you can continue at that 5 count. 5 slowly in and 5 slowly out. Counting mentally to yourself. As we finish 3 rounds at our 5 count, let's take our arms just a little higher here, not quite shoulder height, and see how it would feel to try 6 rounds, or a 6 count rather, 3 rounds at a 6 count. If 5 felt like it was challenging enough, continue with 5. If it feels appropriate for you, balancing effort and ease, attempt the 6 count. Begin when you're ready. As you complete 3 rounds of your 6 count, maybe it feels appropriate for you to take your arms at about shoulder height now, letting the palms stay open if that feels okay. And if it feels comfortable for you, maybe attempting a 7 count breath. Remembering not to strain or struggle, and if at any time it feels panic-inducing, you can start over by simply taking a full breath in and out and trying once more. You are allowed to stay at 6 or 5 or even 4 if that serves best. Remember, you are in charge of your body and how you feel. When you feel ready, feel free to begin attempting the 7 count for 3 rounds. Once more, when you have completed 3 rounds at a 7 count, we can take our arms as high as feels comfortable. And so this may be bringing them down lower, staying where you are, wherever it feels appropriate for you in your body. Remember, there's nothing to prove, and we are acting on ahimsa, non-violence. And so we'll attempt an 8 count here only if that feels appropriate for where you are today. Remember, you can stay at 5, at 6, wherever it's serving you most. Wherever you are, we'll take 3 rounds at your preferred breath count, maybe attempting 8. Begin when you're ready. When you are complete, you can take your hands down wherever it feels most comfortable. Return to your natural breath, resting for a moment, allowing yourself to integrate the work that you've done. Take 3 more conscious breaths. As you feel ready, we can slowly pull the knees towards the chest and roll over to your favorite side. Feel free to just rest for a moment there, giving yourself some time to acclimate and maybe open your eyes, or feel free to keep them closed. As it serves you, you can slowly press up to a seated position. And now I invite you to sit on your prop if that feels most comfortable for you. You can add some elevation, placing the feet flat on the floor. You can also sit on your blanket, giving your hips a little boost. However you are seated, attempt to sit with a nice tall spine. So you may want to sit against a wall or again your prop or straight on a chair. We're going to close our practice here with a chant for peace, our Om Shanti. And so to practice this chant, we will inhale and then exhale Om and repeat Shanti 3 times at the end. And so feel free to give this a try. Even if you have never chanted in your life before, the vibrational energy of chants are so wonderful. And don't really worry about what it sounds like. It's really not about the sound quality. And so sitting up nice and tall, lifting through the heart and the crown of your head, finding softness in your shoulders and elbows, I invite you to close your eyes or cast your gaze downward. Observing how you feel, noticing the peace that you have created for yourself. When we chant Om Shanti, we are chanting peace, peace, peace. Peace for our past selves, peace for our present being, peace for our future selves, peace for us personally, peace for our community, peace the whole world over. Let's take a deep breath in together and sigh it out together. We'll then inhale and exhale Om. Inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Joining our hands together in front of the heart in a prayer position or Anjali mudra. Feeling deeply grateful for the time that we spent on our mat, creating peace for ourselves and for those around us. It's been my sincere honor to be your guide. Touching our thumbs to the forehead, we can recognize one another with Namaste.